You would think that after years and years of being exposed towards violent video games, more and more people will be desensitized by their presence. Well, you'd be wrong, because today we are entering a new age of outrage towards violent video games. The same old outrage as last time. It's so bad that even the people you'd think should know better didn't know better. Let's examine this new outrage closely and figure out what's going on. It all started with this post of how one of GTA 5's downside is the inability to enter a lot of buildings. The person over here hopes that the upcoming GTA 6 is able to remedy that and be able to enter buildings and all that. Then the person highlights a video of a GTA 4 gameplay in which the player shoots up a whole hospital like it's the No Russian scene from Modern Warfare 2. Original, not reboot. This is just a typical GTA gameplay that a majority of GTA players have done at least once. I have done this as well, but I got bored really fast. It's not that exciting just randomly shooting pedestrians to just run away and not fight back. It's when the cops arrive where the fun begins. If I want to kill innocent civilians, I prefer to do them in the newer Hitman games. I always have this challenge to finish a level by killing as many people as possible without anyone noticing, and without committing any sorts of loud massacre. Super freaking fun, if you ask me. And there are more creative and fun ways to kill people in Hitman than they were in GTA. Whatever ways you want to play your game, at the end of the day, these are just video games. The actions that you do in these games do not reflect who you are in the real world. You know what does reflect who you are in the real world? Your actions in the real world.
I got things to take care of in a little place called reality.
For example, complaining about violence in video games in current year reflects how out of touch you are with reality. This person over here says that the person is committing terrorism in GTA, which is like saying that people are eating a lot of burgers at Burger King. This person says that the GTA fanbase needs to seek actual therapy. Personally, I think people who are mentally unwell need to seek actual therapy, but let's put the whole GTA fanbase in there on the same level as those people.
Not gonna lie, now that I'm thinking about it, it's crazy that we were playing this game at such a young age.
Fun fact, my parents actually do not let me to play GTA games. They do, however, let me play GTA clones like Driver 3, which was not a good game, but it was still fun nonetheless, and Driver Parallel Lines, which was okay. And even then, what we do in GTA is not reflective of who we are in reality. We do them just because they are fun. It's really not that complicated.
No study has ever been born out of it, and I'm always against censorship, but to be honest, it's pretty easy to see why there was a moral panic about this specific game.
I actually agree with this point. The same point can also be said to anime fans and how people see them as predators. It's because most anime characters are high schoolers. Most high schoolers in real life are typically under 18, and having fascination towards high schoolers is not exactly something that most people want to put on their resume. But frankly, it really doesn't matter how people on the outside perceive the content. The real question is how the content affects people when they are consumed. And sorry to say this to all the naysayers out there, but we do not have ample evidence to support either of them. Video games do not cause people to become violent in real life, and anime doesn't make people to become sex offenders or predators.
Yeah, because it's still nonce if it's a picture. Sure, you won't be arrested, but you're still a massive nonce and should be treated as such.
Ah yes, we should be treated like child predators. The kind that doesn't get arrested by the cops?
That's great. That's great.
Cringe 90s moms were right about this stuff, by the way.
You do realize that agreeing with them makes you even more cringe, right?
Video games don't cause violence, but they can be a tool to simulate and plan future violence.
What the hell is this doublespeak? Video games don't cause violence, but they can cause violence. So, do they or do they not? Limited replies, because of course.
Become a terrorist under the guise of world building.
You can be anything you want in GTA. It's up to you as a player. You want to be a terrorist? You can. You want to be a law-abiding citizen? You can. Either way, your actions there do not reflect your actions in the real world.
Put this guy on a watch list. I went on sprees in GTA, but this one gives me bad vibes.
Yes, let's completely and totally waste government resources to make sure that this person who plays video games in a psychotic way is not doing anything bad to people. Thankfully, you don't have to put this guy on a watch list because that's just a daily routine for the NSA. They're watching everyone last time I checked.
Honestly, in today's social climate, I hope we aren't able to shoot up buildings in GTA.
In today's social climate, I also don't want social media to have bad takes, but we can't have that, clearly. That requires most people around the world to be smart, and that's just an impossibility.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
There's a level of obscuring that the graphics of PlayStation 2 and 3 accomplish to turn a scene like this into something more cartoonish and simpler.
Ah, yes, because those outrage warriors in the past can clearly tell if games are cartoons and simple. Spoiler alert, no they can't, so this argument is moot anyways.
But on PS5, with more advanced AI and animations, more realistic blood and gore, that's just a photorealistic shooter sim.
You know what else is also on PS5? GTA 5. Cyberpunk 2077 is also on PS5, and that game is basically a futuristic first-person GTA. Heck, the gore in Cyberpunk is a lot more prominent than GTA 5. Point is, it really doesn't matter how gory the game is or how advanced the AI and animations are, it's still video games at the end of the day. If you can't distinguish the difference, that's not our problem. That's a you problem.
That sounds like a you problem.
People equating concerns about this with moral panic in the 90s and early 2000s are missing the context of how mass shootings have become commonplace in our culture since then, and how much additional fidelity the violence is given.
There's literally no correlation between mass shootings being more commonplace and video game violence being more realistic looking. The fact that you somehow connected these two things with each other means that you are suggesting something incredibly idiotic.
There's a reason we won't get Manhunt 3.
Yeah, that series is in limbo, but not because of the controversies. Also, you clearly have not played the previous Manhunt games to know that there are so many layers of context involved in all the brutal killings. And if we are talking about killings, the Hitman games are literally next door, and that game has way more creative means of killing people.
Would you apply the same standard to MK1 and Callisto Protocol? No, because one of those is a horror game, and one is a fighting game with a long history of cartoonish over-the-top violence.
Yeah, tell that to the outrage warriors of the past. They cannot distinguish cartoon violence with real violence.
A photorealistic simulation of brutal murder with screaming civilians is different from a game where people tear out spines with their bare hands.
Not really. They're both video games. Why does it matter if one is more realistic than the other one? And that is assuming that I agree with your assertion that it is realistic, because it's not. Not even Red Dead Redemption 2 looks photorealistic, and that game is aiming to be as realistic as possible.
Hit your head against the wall a little harder, and you might see I never said violence in games is inspiring violence, or anything about the blurring lines of fiction and reality like you quote me saying here.
Okay, first off, if you didn't say that violence in games is inspiring violence, then why bring up mass shootings? What is the purpose of bringing that up? What does mass shootings in real life have to do with mass shootings in the games? And second, not only did you say the part about the lines of fiction and reality blurring, you yourself are confused about the lines of fiction and reality when you call GTA photorealistic shooter sim.
Glad more people are actually questioning the sanity and morals of someone who enjoys things like this.
They're all sane and have good morals. Are you sane and have good morals? Because I can tell you this, some of the people here have some terrible morals.
I think they should be watched. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Help, police officer. This person commits crime in a video game about committing crimes.
Help. Police. Murder.
Like, would you take a plane and fly it into buildings just because it's a game? Or the simple fact that you are a dick?
Funny you asked. Both, actually. And while I am a dick because I like to fly planes to buildings in GTA, at least I am not a dick for trying to dox someone.
Bro, I'm definitely gonna document your location, and then once I find it, I'm gonna expose it. Do you have any criminal records? Because I'm gonna find that too.
Wow, what a great way to respond to arguments. This is just painfully embarrassing all around. So embarrassing that the OP had to delete all those offending comments advocating and endorsing doxing. Yeah, not a great look at all. And the most embarrassing display of them all goes to GmanLives, who is unfortunately Australian.
Oh no, I'm Australian.
He said that the dude in question on the video should be put on a watch list. Why? Because he shoots innocent civilians in a video game. Yeah, that's worthy to be put in a watch list next to actual real-world criminals that actually shoot people in real life.
They got things to take care of in a little place called reality.
Aren't you a fan of the Postal games? Some of them at least? 2, primarily? G-Man also said that he has killed lots of cops in GTA, but not civilians. Oh, but don't you know, G-Man, those cops have lives too, you know? Why are you shooting them? One huge misinformation that G-Man spreads is that the game never forces you to kill civilians, which is false because they do have missions where you kill random civilians in the top-down era of GTA. To G-Man's credit, he apologized for being a dick because he is being a dick. And also Australian.
Oh no, I'm Australian.
But man, how can he just stumble like that and bash GTA players for something that they do all the time? What absolutely boggles my mind is that this whole thing of being shocked that something happening in fiction is a regular occurrence that shouldn't have been the case. People get outraged at this scene where anti-hero members of the Suicide Squad are killing innocent people. By mistake. There was a dialogue where Omni-Man talked about keeping Sindel as a pet in MK1, or this scene from Remake 3 where Jill got fed with that parasite thingy, whatever. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you guys, but we are living in a world where people are way too concerned about how much fiction is going to influence us to emulate all sorts of heinous stuff. In reality, most people know that fiction is fiction. Anyone who thinks otherwise are the actual people that needs to be put on a watch list and seek therapy and whatever these people are saying. It does sound like projection, don't you think? And to think we can go through current year without thinking about how violent video games are causing people to become violent in real life. Some things just never change. And that's all for the video today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And as always, huge thanks to all of these wonderful people. You guys are fantastic. If you want to see your names among these awesome people, then check out the links down below. Just $1 and you'll see your names among these legends. Don't forget to check out my APB show channel, link down below. Go subscribe. Thank you so much. Now we'll see you all next time.